Today, truth is in crisis. On the one hand, we place a high value on truth. Witnesses in court are sworn in to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. In the aftermath of war, truth commissions are appointed because the long process of healing must begin with facing the truth of people's experiences, no matter how difficult that is. We expect truth from all kinds of leaders. Discretion, confidentiality, yes, but transparency whenever possible. We expect truth. Parents teach their children, always tell the truth, even if it costs you. We place a high value on truth. On the other hand, truth is vulnerable. Truth can be eroded in subtle ways. TV commercials show supposedly unrehearsed testimonials for dating services or ranch dressing. These are not spontaneous. They are scripted, staged performances. Reality TV is not reality at all. It's actors acting for the camera. Subtleties of language can dilute the truth. Downsizing can mask the reality of unemployment. Misspeaking coddles the reality of lying. And aren't pre-owned cars just plain used? Truth is vulnerable. In postmodernity, people speak their personal truth. No one has absolute truth. Truth is relative, subjective, a matter of opinion. Hearing someone else's truth is important, but how about when different narratives equally claim truth? Can facts really have alternatives? In a climate of subjective truth, it's easier to justify manipulating the books, copying someone else's homework, stealing pens from the office supplies, slipping through the stop sign, and telling great Aunt Hattie she doesn't look a day over 30. Truth is vulnerable. In our society, truth is regularly adjusted by spin. Spin is truth modified for usefulness. The prophet Isaiah lamented, truth stumbles in the public square. Truth is regularly compromised by the usefulness of spin. Truth is vulnerable. And of course, selfie culture is about projecting on social media the preferred truth we want others to believe about us, which is not the same thing as the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? Hannah Arendt is author of The Origins of Totalitarianism. She makes an alarming observation. The ideal subject of totalitarian rule is not the convinced Nazi or the convinced communist. Rather, it is people for whom the distinction between fact and fiction, between true and false, no longer exists. Arendt was speaking about other political systems in earlier times, but does her warning have a message for us today? The most troubling thing today may be that untruth has become normal. Have you ever handed money back to a cashier and said, "You gave me too much change," and received in return a look of astonishment? We don't expect people to be honest. Truth is in crisis. Now, that's nothing new. The scriptures know all about truth in crisis. And the scriptures take truth very seriously. This is the 9th commandment. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. God knows when people in a community cannot trust each other to be truthful, the whole fabric of society is torn. The positive formulation of the 9th commandment is a blessed assurance. Truth-telling honors the neighbor and strengthens community. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verses 19 and 20 command God's people to maintain truth in the legal system. You must not distort justice. You must not show partiality. You must not accept bribes, for a bribe blinds the eye of the wise and subverts the cause of those in the right. Rigorous justice you must pursue, the pursuit of truth. Leaders of society must practice truth. Otherwise, everything is at the mercy of power. Jeremiah denounces what in his day had become a whole public policy of deceit. He says, from the least to the greatest, everyone deals falsely. And the leaders treat this wound of my people superficially by saying, all is well, when all is not well. Schmooze is not truth. So the scriptures know about this. They know about and expose the crisis of truth. But they don't leave us there. They invite us to be part of the solution. Here's an encouraging word. Psalm 51 verse 6 says, truly, O God, you want truth at the center of each person's being. And there, deep within you, teach me wisdom. We are capable of wisdom, and wisdom begins with truth. We can be part of the solution. In his conversation with the woman at the well, Jesus defines worship this way. God is spirit, and those who worship God must worship in spirit and truth. Jesus says worship is truthful when accompanied by the Spirit, and worship is spirit-filled when accompanied by truth. Spirit and truth are inseparable, and we are capable of such worship. 3 times in the Gospel of John, Jesus calls the Holy Spirit the Spirit of truth. The Holy Spirit is the presence and power of God in the world that cuts through the baloney and the nonsense and the innuendo and the euphemism and the self-deceit and the propaganda and the wishy-washy, maybe this, maybe that. The Spirit empowers in us integrity. Integrity. That is a match between what we say and what we do. Like that wonderful core value of Anabaptism, the inner life and the outer life must be congruent. Jesus says the Holy Spirit empowers us for such, empowers truth in us. Jesus also says truth is the pathway to liberation. He says you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. What truth do you need to face right now to open the way to liberation? What truth does the church need to face right now to open the way to liberation? What truth does our country need to face right now to open the way to liberation? The liberation Jesus said is possible. The truth sets us free. We can be part of the solution. Despite its tremendous importance, truth isn't easy. On the ground, it's tough. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth can be difficult. It can be difficult in Christian community. It can. Sometimes we hold back on the whole truth because we value relationships. And if we shared our whole truth, we might offend others. Well, that's a good sensitivity to have. But there can be a cost to holding back on the truth. When we aren't fully truthful with each other, the relationship we preserve is not as deep because we fail to express some things that are important to us. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15 understands this situation in Christian community and counsels us to speak the truth in love. Speak the truth in love. It's love and truth together that are the co-foundations of Christian community. Can't have one without the other. They belong together. Speak the truth in love. And when we have a hard truth to share, we share it in love. And if we are Christians who show the love of Christ to each other, we are obligated to tell the truth. Truth is important, but not easy. Over the years, I've counseled couples in their mid-30s who are getting married for the first time. Premarital couples in their mid-30s are different from those in their mid-20s. In general, the 30-somethings are highly in touch with the truth about the challenge of relationships. They're also highly in touch with the truth about themselves. Namely, they've had a long single life, maybe 12, 15 years long. And maybe they hoped for a life partner someday, but they didn't put their lives on hold. And the truth is, there's some things they like about being single. And the truth is, they're kind of set in their ways. And the truth is that while they truly love the person sitting next to them in Pastor Dave's office, they wonder whether they can change their lives enough to fit this other person in. And the truth is the person sitting next to them is wondering the very same thing. Truth is important, but not always easy. Today I offer congratulations to our graduates this year, Luke and Emily and Adam and Isabel and Katrina. There's something about being the class of 2020 that seems inescapably connected to seeing things clearly, seeing things as they really are, a commitment to the truth. The best way forward, as you go forward with your lives, the best way forward is always paved with truth. May God bless our graduates in their commitment to truth in all the paths that lie ahead. Friends, we can be part of the solution. The elder of the church in 3 John says, I have no greater joy than this, to hear that my children are walking